My name is Brandy. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to my channel, Sewing Back. Today, or it's not today, it's this evening, we are going to attempt something I have never made before. So this could either be amazing or an absolute flop. This is a canning project, a water bath canning project. So if you do not have a water bath canner, you can totally use a big stock pot. You just need to put something in the bottom like a kitchen towel, something that you don't have the glass jars sitting directly on top of that pot. There's kits you can get to actually put in stock pots if you want to turn them into water bath canners, as long as you're doing like pint or less size jars. So as you know, if you've watched my videos, you know that I ordered half a bushel of oranges from Jonina's farm in South Georgia, and I have them right here. And so I wanted to attempt to make a marmalade, which meant I started researching. I was really surprised because in a couple of my canning books, they don't really give a recipe for an orange marmalade. And, they had some chutneys, but I didn't have an orange marmalade. Now, in my old Ball Blue book, it has one, but it's on a lot smaller scale than what I'm hoping to do. So I started just getting some of my own ideas and what I wanted to try to do, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'll tell you if it tastes good. If it doesn't taste good, I'll tell you if it's a fail. But I want to try it because if it works, it's going to be great. Okay, so I am going to use Pectin. I'm going to use Pomona's Universal Pectin. I get this from the Bread Bakers. They also sell this at Azure, but I have a good stock of it from the Bread Bakers. And so this one's a little bit different because it puts, you have your little Pectin pack, but it has the, it's the calcium, I think this is calcium chloride, I think, and you mix it, you have to mix it with water, okay? Because you have to add it to their recipe. So I looked at what they had. They kind of have a list of some helpful tips for making jams, jellies, and they have one for marmalade. So it says a light and fresh orange marmalade. You can also use other citrus, it says, in place of orange and grapefruit. So they actually mix orange and grapefruit. I am not adding grapefruit. You needed to wash your fruit skins very good. And I have, and they're dried now. I scrubbed them down because you will be using some of the skin. So it says to chop half of a grapefruit and 4 oranges. It says to scrape the white and then thinly slice the peel from two of the oranges. It says bring fruit to a boil with 3 cups of water or juice and simmer covered for 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. You should get 6 cups of fruit, which you will add 3 tablespoons of lemon or lime juice. I'm going to do lemon juice. You are going to add 2 to 3 cups of sugar, and you're going to need 4.5 teaspoons of the pectin and 3 teaspoons of the calcium water. Okay, so I looked at that and I thought, and like I said, I have watched quite a few videos or parts of the videos, and I want to use 2 pieces of kitchen equipment besides my canner. I will be using my canner to water bath can to make this a little bit easier. And those things are going to be my Vitamix and my Instapot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have half a cup of water, and for the calcium, little pack here, you need half a teaspoon. Because the first thing you're supposed to do is go ahead and make your calcium water mixture. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have half a teaspoon here. So if you can see. And I'm just going to put that in this water, and I'm going to mix that up so that I'll have that ready to go when we I did not use the microplane because mine is so small. It's more for like nutmeg and stuff. I had a bigger one and I don't know what I did with it in the kitchen remodel. So I'm thinking it might have went to Goodwill. So I used just my vegetable peeler and I got some of these and I'm going to chop them so that they're smaller. I think this is plenty, so I'm not going to get any more of these. So I have this done, plus I've got my calcium water mixture over there going. I have a bowl of the pills that I'm not getting rid of this because I'm going to put these in an amber jar, half-gallon jar with some white vinegar so I can do an infused orange cleaner. I already have my Myers lemon one going. It's been going for a couple weeks, so we'll do this when I get through this. But I have the 6-cup Vitamix. So I've got it almost full, and I'm going to put my lid on, and we're going to come over here and we are going to pulverize this, and then I'm going to strain it. I tried to get most, if you can see, I tried to get most of the little white pieces, but like I said, I want this to be easy. So I'm going to strain it when I get through pulverizing it so that we get the juice and all the leftover stuff we don't need, okay? Juice or water. Okay, so we're gonna say 3 and 3, that's 6. And we're gonna, I think we're gonna do, what is that? Triple it. We're going to triple this recipe. That's okay. I got enough pectin for that, and I got enough of the other stuff, so we're going to go with it. That works out, because what I'm going to do is, I know that I've got 6 cups of liquid here. I've got 1.5 here. I'm going to take some Berkey water here, and we will make another cup and a half. Let's see. That's almost right on the money. Okay, so we're tripling the recipe, guys. This is why you have to read through these things over and over again. And I've already read it more times than I care to tell you. All right, so I've got my Instapot. Okay, I'm going to pour my juice in here from the Vitamix. I think this is why I found this so confusing when I watched other people's videos and recipes. They didn't really tell you how many oranges. Alright, I'm going to pour some water in each of these to get all the goodness out of both of these containers. Alright. So we've got that done. Got that done. Alright. Now, when you use your Instapot, one of the things, if you've ever attempted to make yogurt, some of these Instapots come with a different gasket for making things like that. I don't want my orange marmalade to taste like chicken soup, which I have been known to make in my Instapot. So I'm going to take that gasket out, and I actually have a second gasket, and I'm going to put that one in. I'm going to oil it first and then put it in. So I've got this in here, And I need to grate a little, I am going to grate a little off of my lemon here. And I'm going to cut these up a little bit. Okay guys, so if you can see, this is my Instapot lid. This is the gasket, my normal gasket. And this is where I cook all those savory foods. And if you smell it, it smells savory no matter how many times you wash it and oil it. And so when I bought my Instapot, after doing the kitchen, because I had a crock pot like Instapot under the crock pot name, it came with 2 of them. So I chose to keep the red one for like the sweet things. And so I'm just gonna take a little cooking spray. Actually, I'm just gonna take some coconut oil. I'm gonna wipe that off really well. It's clean, but it had that gasket on it. So I'm gonna wipe this off pretty good. And then I'm just gonna put some coconut oil. You can use any kind of oil. I'm just gonna get a little on my hand. And then it's, if you see on my hand, and then I just like to go around it several times on both sides of it. All right, so that it's oiled. This will give your gaskets a longer life if you oil them. I don't think it'll make a hill of beans about the smell though. Honestly, I don't even think it's chicken soup that was the main one. It was when I would pressure cook collard greens. Never could get the smell out of the gasket after that. So as you can see, I have that gasket on. And so the next part I need to do is we're gonna come over to the Instapot, and I'm just gonna grate. I've already cleaned this, but I wanna grate up finely a little bit of lemon just to add a little brightness. I just took the scissors to it, and you can see my little shreds kind of like that. Some of them are a little bit bigger, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm happy with it. It's going in. So I'm putting it inside of our juice water mixture. Remember, we're not putting any sugar, any pectin, none of that happened yet, okay? So we're putting this in. This is my microplane. That's why I said it's really small. And it's fine for juicing a lemon. It's really great for nutmeg and Parmesan. I had a bigger one. Like I said, I think it ended up in the Goodwill pile because I haven't found it since doing the kitchen. Now, if you just wanted to make this and you didn't care anything about getting that any of the bitter flavor, or I guess a little bit of that sweet, I don't guess it's sour. I think it's more of a bitter, maybe a little sour, I don't know. Then you really don't have to put the rind in there if you're going to use the pectin. But I want to have both. I've really been trying to develop that. I've been doing a lot of reading, and honestly in the States, most of us have not developed our taste buds on our tongue for the bitter flavor. And I know this because I tried eating bitter melon and I thought I was going to be sick. And it is so good for you. It's so incredibly good for you. And so I want to try to develop that because it can really solve, if you have blood sugar issues, that's actually one that can totally, you can grow in your garden, solve your blood sugar issues. And I just didn't do too well with it. So, but that doesn't mean I'm a quitter. I'm going to try again. All right, so I've got my mixture in here. Let's see if we can bring it a little bit overhead so you can see it. That's what it looks like going in. All right, so we're going to set our Instapot. Here comes the hardest part. Can you get the lid on? Yay, I did it. All right, so I'm gonna set my on pressure cook, All right, and we're gonna cook for 10 minutes. Let's see. Now, on the Asian videos I watched, they didn't do it in an Instapot. They would boil it on their stove and then they let it sit for 24 hours. So I'm trying to, I don't want to do that. I want this done. And so I have it on, it is on the lock function up here. And I've got it plugged in. I've got it set for 10 minutes and I'm going to hit start. And we're gonna let it cook. You see, I have another amber glass jar, like when we did this with our Myers lemon peels. I'm just gonna take these orange peels from the marmalade that we didn't need, and I'm gonna cram as many in here as I can get. If I have too many peels, I can always just put this in directly in my garden, my raised beds. It will give a good dose of vitamin C into it. I'm trying not to get the little, I guess that's where the stem was. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna stir it. And I'm gonna do the rest of this in this pot. So what you wanna do is I'm gonna hit cancel. That smells really good. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the saute function so that I can bring it up to a boil. Let me show you what I got here. I figured out the sugar. I need 6 cups of sugar. I could put 9 cups. It says 2 to 3 cups per recipe. I'm going with less sugar because I've got the pectin in there and I don't want it I don't like my jams and jellies to be super sweet. I want to be able to taste the fruit and not just sugar. Okay, so this recipe also says when you use her pectin, you could use honey. The only reason I'm using organic sugar because I have raw honey, and then you would be cooking it. I don't really know why you'd use the honey. Plus, I think it would give it a different flavor. I don't know that I would want. So I've got my sugar going. I've got the citric water here. I've got some lemon juice. I get this from Azure. I got a new bottle of that because you got to put a little lemon juice in here. And I'm using 2 full packs of the pectin. So it has 1 ounce. 1 ounce of pectin equals 6 teaspoons of pectin. And so each batch I made needed 4 teaspoons. So if I did my math right, 4 goes into 12 3 times. I have 3, I tripled it. Okay, so it says to add my lemon juice at this point. So it says prepare your fruit or your juice, which we have done. Measure your, I did measure it, so I know what my measurements are. Now you add the appropriate lemon or lime juice called for your recipe. So I'm going to have to put, since we're tripling it, I have to put 9 tablespoons. So let's see, 9 tablespoons. Well, it says 8 tablespoons is 4 ounces. Which is half of a cup. So we're going to put half a cup of lemon juice plus 1 tablespoon. So we're going to do that now since that's what we're supposed to do. Let's shake this up. Alright. So we're going to get our 4 ounces Ooh, that smells good. Alright, so I got 4 ounces plus 1 tablespoon. That would be 9 tablespoons. I have a little sheet over here, magnet, that tells me all these measurements. Worth every penny. I don't know where I got it. It was one of those little shops. That thing is helpful. So if you see one, pick one up. You'll use it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Okay. And I'm waiting for this. I guess I'd be waiting for a long time since I didn't hit start. I'm a goofball. Alright, so now I've hit, on the saute function, I've hit start. So I'm just waiting for it to come up to a boil. It shouldn't take long because it's really hot. It says that for the calcium water you need 3 teaspoons. And you're telling me 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon?
That's what I read one time.
Well, let's see. I've got my little cheat. Yes! He's correct, y'all. It's on my cheat sheet. 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. So I need 3 tablespoons. So of this mixture, and I'm mixing it up really good because it keeps settling a little bit at the bottom. All right, so we're gonna do our 3 tablespoons. I'm just gonna put this in here. 1, 2, and 3. Yay! Okay. So we got all that. Got our lemon juice in there. We've got that. I'm going to stir it. It says really well. So we're going to do that. And then the next part of it, it says, is you're to measure your sugar or your honey. And I know that for this recipe, I've already measured it out. Well, this bag has 4 cups. So we're going to put the sugar in here. And I have 2 more, because that's what the recipe called for. Well, you know what? I'm just going to pour it, and that way I can be sure. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it says 48 ounces. That should be 4 cups, I think. I think that's what it says. No, it says 32 ounces. All right. Y'all are going to laugh at me in this. All right, so this is 4 cups of sugar. And then we're going to see. It's perfect. 2 more cups. That's my 6 cups, just like I thought. Did do it right. Sorry guys, my battery died. I had to switch it out. Johnny got me a new battery. So I have 2. Which you really need when you make videos. They don't last very long. Alright, so I've got my sugar in here. I'm not totally sure where it died. I've got everything in here but the pectin, okay? And I'm waiting for it to come up to a full rolling boil. And when it does, I will put my 2 packs of pectin in. I'm very excited. I don't think I've been this excited. Well, I was pretty excited to make the muscadine jam because it was our first fruits and stuff like that. I'm pretty excited about this. Won't that be something if it turns out and it tastes really good? Because in all honesty, this was pretty easy as far as jam making or marmalade making. If it works. I'm hoping it works. I don't know why it wouldn't work. I guess if it didn't set. But I'm putting pectin in, so it should set. I put in the pectin. I was very concerned about my jars cooling down because I don't want them to break because they're not tempered for the different temperatures. So what I do is, they're totally clean. I turn them upside down in the canner so they're plenty warm, and I'll start flipping them out when I'm ready to fill them. And I'm fixing to put in the pectin, and then I have to stir for 2 minutes. I'm also going to put in the pat of butter I have over here, just a little thing of organic butter. to show you what it's looking like. I haven't got them in the canner yet. I'm still jarring them up. But I have some of the small, oh, that's hot. I have some of the pints. And I'm still going, so I'm going to show you how to do one of them. Just like you do any other jelly jar. These need a 1/4 inch of headspace. I don't know how easy it's going to be to clean on this Instapot because this stuff is like glue. Here, let's move you a little closer. Let's see. Here we go. So as soon as I can get this out and it cools down, I'm hoping I can get it cooled off of it. I'm not sure if I like making jelly in this or not. I think the first part was good. It might have been better to move to the stove for the second part, but it seems to be setting up. So we'll go with it. Okay. And so the 4th is the first step. And that's right. And then you want to debubble. You have to debubble even in your jams and jellies like everything else you can. Alright, and then you want to take vinegar and a clean rag. And you want to clean all the stickiness off the top so that you're going to get a good seal. And I do not reuse lids, and I don't recommend reusing lids. That is not best canning practice. And that's all I'll say about that. So that's what it looks like. It's going to go into the water bath canner. That means you need to have 1 inch to 2 inches of water over the top once you lower the rack down, and it's going to process for 10 minutes once it comes up to that full rolling boil. And then once it's done, I usually let it cool down a little bit, and then I set them out overnight, wait for all the pings, and in the morning or tomorrow evening or afternoon, I'll take the bands off, label them, and put them on the shelf. I have already fudged. I've already fudged. It's so good. It is good. It's a win. It's not super sweet. I don't really taste any of the bitter. I don't know if I have a piece of the rind though. I think that's where the bitter part comes. That is so good. Yay! All right, let's get these in the canner. And the process. Isn't that pretty? It is tasty stuff, y'all. I'm gonna put one in the center. Well, and then we'll put some little ones. Remember, if you're using a stock pot, you need either a rack or a towel in the bottom. Your glass can fuse to the bottom of your stock pot or shatter. It's not meant to be touching the bottom of those pots. So, and you can get one of these little rack things with a kit that has like this stuff and the little tools pretty inexpensively. I'll link one down in the description, because for years that's all I had was just like my big spaghetti stock pot, and that's how I made jams and jellies. All right, let me get my pot holders. Excuse me. This is the tricky part. Is lowering it down. And if you don't have 1 inch over, like I'll probably add some water because I have some of the pint-sized jars. It's clearly over my other ones. That's what you're looking for, that full rolling boil. And so now I can set my timer for 10 minutes, turn my stove off, and I'm just gonna kind of let that vent so it can kind of cool down. You don't wanna pull them out and like have that much of a shock. You want them to just kind of let them cool down. So they'll probably cool down for about an hour or so. Before I take them out, I'll get a picture of them, probably do something in the morning to finish the video up. But that's how you can and make orange marmalade. I will write in the description what I did. If you found value in this, I would love a thumbs up. If you are liking our content, please consider subscribing to the channel, or if you know someone who would like this kind of content, please share our videos with them. And with that, I thank you, and I will see you next time because I'm pooped. I'm tired. Bye.